Howdy everybody, this is Steve, KM9G, hiding behind the camera here. I've got some tips for you. I've got 3 tips for you on the true SDX radio. Tip number 1, the power meter. Power meter, if you hold down your push to talk, it's supposed to tell you your power. It didn't work for me in the last video because it only works in CW mode. I'm hooked up to a dummy load right now. If I hold down the PTT key, I get 5.73 watts out. And if I'm on 20 meters, I get 6.6 watts out. I will have a video in the future on how to get more power out of this radio. But for now, that was tip number 1. Tip number 2 is the volume control. If you tap this once, you're changing the step of your tuning. So right now I'm in half kilohertz steps. If I press it again, I'm in 1/10 of a kilohertz steps. If I double tap it, I change bands. I showed you that in the video before. What I didn't show you is if you hold it down while you're turning, you lower the volume or raise the volume. So that's a quick volume change tip for you right there. And you can hear it go into overdrive. So there's your volume control tip. All right, tip number 3. Tip number 3 is a hidden power button. So normally in order to turn this thing off, I would just unplug it. But what I'm going to do now is hold this down and turn it all the way down past 0. Power off 73. And here's a bonus tip for you. If you tap the menu button, it's supposed to come back on. I am very impatient and I always wind up having to tap it twice. And on the second tap, it comes back on. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature. That's just kind of the way it works. So there you go. I've got a video coming out in the future for you on FT8 type stuff. So in the previous video where I showed you this speaker, this is a battery-powered USB chargeable tip ring sleeve plug-in speaker that helps make this radio sound a lot better than the internal speaker. The cable that comes with it is not a data cable, so that's trash. What you'll need to do, FT8, is a data cable USB for cat control, which does not work for me. We'll get into fixing that when I get into fixing it, when I learn how to fix it. And then you'll need some audio cables. So there is an audio out and a speaker in, and then you can use cat control or you can use Vox to key up your FT8. And so I've got a little mini sound card. I've got an audio splitter if I want to plug this into my laptop. And then I've got audio cables, and these are travel-friendly audio cables because they expand and shrink. So what I'm working with right now is version 2.00i of the internal firmware. I was able to upgrade the firmware so I know my data cable and my USB connection works fine. When I try to do rig control, it complains. I've got a message out on the TrueSDX forum. Nobody has an answer. Some people have also seen this problem. When I figure it out, there will be a video on that. Until then, there's a video right over here I think you will enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. We'll see you in the next one.